Hey stars, back at you again. You know, I just had a few more thoughts now that I'm getting ready to fix my lunch, right? You know, sometimes in dysfunctional families, what happens is the person, well, usually it's the child in a dysfunctional relationship, but I'm going to go to the family, dysfunctional families. And if you have a narcissist who's a parent or a cluster B personality who's a parent, and they may be partnered or married to someone who behaves codependently, so both of the parents may not be NPDs. It might be one who's codependent and the other one who's an NPD. But anyway, when children are growing up in a dysfunctional family and these are the parents, first of all, they're going to be groomed to either become a person who behaves codependently or a person who develops a narcissistic personality. But here's the thing I want to really talk about. As that child grows up, or as those children grow up, if the child was neglected or abused, I mean, if there was incest, sexual molestation, and all of these things going on in a dysfunctional family, this is what's amazing to me. It's disturbing, but it's amazing and it's fascinating all at the same time. It's interesting, and unfortunately it goes on way too often. This is what happens as that child or those children grow up. The parent or the grandparents or the aunt, the uncle, whoever did the violation, right, the abuse, whoever the violator was to that child or those children, as those children grow up, and this never, I mean, it just never fails. What usually happens is that that child who was violated, they are expected from the other family members to go the extra mile, to do the right thing, or to just accept what happened to them without protest. It's amazing. While the violator is the one who is shown some comfort, who is the one who is shown some understanding. In other words, they're exalted, they're uplifted, they're elevated, even though they were the violator or the abuser, okay, or the one who was really guilty of committing such a heinous act, such as abusing the child. It's amazing how what happens in that dysfunctional family is that the child who was violated, okay, is the one who is expected without protest to go the extra mile to make sure that the violator is comfortable in their denial. It's amazing. It's like, you know, the child who now is growing up into an adult and who maybe is an adult now, they're being expected to suffer in silence. And not only that, they are expected to do something that is really, I mean, just outrageously doggone near impossible, okay? And that is to continue to suffer in silence and to make sure that the violator is okay, that they're comfortable. In other words, go the extra mile and make sure you don't offend him or her, or make sure that you apologize. And the violator all along is the one that's being exalted and uplifted and being protected, when it should be the other way around, or it ought to be the other way around, but it often isn't. Here's what I want to say about that. If you are being requested to do something that the violator is not willing to do, I say that's a no-no. That's a thumbs down. For example, I would ask that person, well, why am I being requested to make sure that I accommodate someone who had violated me in any way, shape, or form? Why am I being requested to, why am I being expected to make sure, why am I accommodating this person? They're the ones that committed the violation, yet they're the ones being protected, yet they're the ones that's receiving the understanding and the love and the compassion, when really the child who was violated, they are rarely the ones who receive that love. They rarely are the ones who receive that compassion. Yet as they grow up, they are expected to suffer in silence and to go the extra mile, to be the one to do the right thing, okay, who does the right thing, or to go the extra mile and continue on going the extra mile and apologizing and accommodating and being the peacemaker. Usually these are the children who are scapegoated in that dysfunctional family setting. And as they grow up, then they have dysfunctional relationships with other people who have characteristics like the narcissist or the custom personality. And once again, they're the ones who are overly accommodating the other person who violated him or her, who was mistreating him or her very poorly. So I just want to say, whenever someone asks you or requests you to do something they're not willing to do, it may be time to reevaluate that relationship, or simply walk away and not be available to that person anymore. And if you cannot physically get away or in that relationship, you can emotionally become unavailable to that person. Meaning, if they want to tell you how badly their day was, you're not available to listen. You're not going to offer any advice. You're not going to really even offer any feedback. You may even become like a gray rock. Okay, I'm not saying the gray rock method you have to use, but just become very uninteresting, you know, at that point. But this is something that I've always been not always, but for a long time, has really bugged me, and just, it's one of my pet peeves, is when someone who does the violation expects the one who has been violated to go the extra mile for them and accommodate them so they can stay comfortable in their denial. It's just really amazing to me. So the next time somebody, whether it's in your family or in any of your relationships that you already know is, you know, not very healthy, right? just think about that. Or, you know, you ask that person that. You might want to ask them that. Well, why am I being requested to do something that you're not willing to do, or that person is not willing to do? But this is something that we can say is a common thread when it comes to dysfunctional relationships with narcissists or custody personalities. They usually request others to do things that he or she is not willing to do, such as compromise, negotiate, meet the person halfway to make sure that issues are resolved. Narcissists and custody personalities, they're not willing to do that, yet they expect you and other people to do that. So the next time somebody requests something of you that they're not willing to do, ask them that question. Why is that being requested of you when history shows their behavior pattern? They won't do it, but they want you to do it. This is another way to stay in the sunken place, and you don't want to be there, okay? So I just wanted to share those thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and get me something to eat for real this time. I just did another video. Please check out these vlogs. Stay tuned for more vlogs, and stay tuned for more videos. I'm Luminousz Star. Take care. Mwah.